Hello and welcome to another video by ES Repair. I am your host, Mr. Fix-It. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to Windows 10. This is the newest operating system by Microsoft Corporation. This is the latest one that they've released on July 29th of this year. This one here is a free upgrade. If you have any other operating system other than Windows 7 or Windows 8.1, then you will have to wait until they roll out with a retail version. The expected retail version is going to be around the same price as Windows 8.1 was when it was released. And that's going to be about $119, give or take, depending on where you get the operating system. But right now, they're doing the free online upgrade for those who have Windows 7 or Windows 8.1. If you're a user of 8.0, which was the original release of Windows 8, you will need to upgrade to 8.1 before you can get to Windows 10. 8.1 is also a free update. 8.1 fixed a lot of the problems with Windows 8. And you must upgrade to 8.1 before you're eligible to upgrade to Windows 10. Now, what you'll see here is the new one. If you see my previous videos that I've done on Windows 10 when I was testing it for you, you can see that it looks very different than what the preview version was. Now, if you decide to upgrade to Windows 10, you have 30 days to decide if you like it or if you do not. If you do not, you do have the ability to revert back to the previous operating system. You can do that by clicking your start button in the lower left corner here. This is the new start button. For those of you who had Windows 7, Windows 10 is going to look very different, but everything is where it used to be. It looks like Windows 8.1 in many ways, but it actually is Windows 10. But what they've done is they changed user friendliness. This was a priority when Microsoft developed Windows 10 to make it easier to use and more easier to learn. Now, if you click down here in the start button and then go here to settings, you will be brought up to this window. Now, this window here, if you go over here to update and security, and then go over here to recovery, you'll see that where you upgraded for the previous version. This computer here that I built had Windows 7 on it. And what I did is I went ahead and upgraded it to Windows 10. Now you have 30 days. Once you do the upgrade, you have 30 days to decide if you want to keep Windows 10. If you do not, you can come here and then get started to revert it back to the previous operating system. Now, what we'll do here, and I will show you how to do all this. So if you decide that you don't like Windows 10, I will show you how to revert it back to the original operating system. Now, before you do any kind of upgrade, you want to make sure that everything that you have installed, which is all your programs, you want to make sure that everything that is installed will function in Windows 10, including your printers, your internet security software, anything that you have installed on your computer, you want to make sure it will function in Windows 10. So you need to check with the manufacturer or software developer of your programs, your printer manufacturer, make sure that they are going to be supported into Windows 10 before you make the upgrade. Now, I know the upgrade's free, but that doesn't mean you have to jump on the bandwagon like everyone else and then find out later whether or not it's going to work. What I would do if I was you, and this is what I highly recommend, is you take the time. You have a whole entire year. You have until July of 2016 to free upgrade your operating system. What I would do, and this is what I highly recommend, is to check your software, check your hardware drivers, check your printers, any device you have connected to your computer. any programs that you have installed. Check with the developer or the manufacturer to find out if it will be supported in Windows 10. You may have to do some upgrades. You may have to upgrade your programs. You may have to upgrade the drivers before you can do the Windows 10. And I will show you that coming up in another video to show you about installing Windows 10 and what to look for. Now, as you can see here, this is a desktop. There has been a lot of changes to Windows. They merged a lot of the problems. Windows 8.1, if those of you who've had it knows how much everyone hated it. This one here looks like Windows 8, but it functions like Windows 7. You no longer had the start screen. With Windows 10, Windows 10 has the ability to determine what kind of operating computer hardware you have. If you have a desktop, if you have a laptop, if it's on a tablet, Windows 10 was specifically designed to where all devices that's running Windows will be on the same platform. No more trying to figure out what operating system you have. Whether it's a smartphone, an Xbox, everything is going to be on the same platform. Everything is going to be running with this design. And that way you don't have to try and guess what operating system version you have. Now, with Windows 10, you'll see that there's been quite a few changes here. Your notifications, remember the charge bar that was on the left-hand side, that was removed. This is, the Action Center took over this side. What this does, of course, if you remember that little flag in the lower right-hand corner, this shows you here all the notifications that you have. Everything from, as you can see here with Microsoft's feedback. They want to see what you think about if you had any problems with the installation or any feedback that you have about the current operating system. Other things that you'll see is you also have notifications here. Anything new will pop up here. Now, once you decide, you don't have to worry about these here. These are quick links. If you have Office OneNote, you can click here. These are for all settings. Virtual private networks, location, that's if your laptop has GPS or if your tablet or smartphone has one. You also have tablet mode. This is specifically for laptops that can be converted from laptop to tablet. This allows you to switch between the two. This here, you have your Connect, which allows you to connect all your devices. You also have quiet hours, which what this does is pretty much keeps your computer quiet during the night hours or during the day, whenever you need some quiet time. This one allows you to turn all the sound off. Now, as you can see, there are some icons that changed. Instead of the flag, you have the little quotation thing, little chat box. That's your Action Center. Your audio, you have your networking for you to connect to your network. You also have some other software, the OneDrive, any other software that you still had installed. On here are all the icons. Now, you may have noticed that in Windows 10 they've changed the icons. They're more flat. They don't have any dimensions or depth to them, except the recycle bin. If you've noticed the recycle bin, the little trash can up here, it still has some depth and looks still in three-dimensional. But that's the only icon that was not changed. Down here you have Cortana. Now, if you had a mobile phone, a Windows phone, you probably know about Cortana. Well, Cortana is the new search engine that's built into the computer. Now, the good thing about Cortana is not only can you type in text, but it also does voice recognition to where you can just search by voice. This comes in handy for if you have a microphone, or if you don't like typing that much, then you can speak to the program and it will search it by the sound of your voice. You do have settings that you can control Cortana on how it behaves and how it gives you search information. And of course you have the feedback to let Microsoft know, what you think about Cortana, or if you have any suggestions for it for future releases. Now, believe it or not, Windows 10 is going to be treated as a service program. If you've used Apple's before, and every time they upgraded the operating system, which is the latest one they have now, is the Windows 10 listen to me, OS X 10.10, which is Yosemite. Okay, well, Windows 10 is going to be treated the same way. Anytime there's an operating system upgrade, this will automatically upgrade through the Windows Update. It's similar as to what Apple does with their operating systems. Now, down here, as you can see here, you have your icons. This here is the task view. This runs in the background. And what this does is I can have all these programs open. Move that out of the way. Now, what this does, as you can see down here, it shows you the programs that you have open. You'll notice the little dashes. That shows you that they're active. But if you wanted to see, Task View allows you to see all the programs that you have open at once. In the older computers, or the older versions, if you press Alt key and the Tab key, it brings up a menu in the middle, something like this, and then you switch in between. But this way, in Windows 10, you click on Task View, which is this icon right here. It looks like a box with two smaller boxes around it, or a stereo, whatever you want to call it. But this icon right here next to Cortana is your Task View. And as you can see, it shows you all the programs that you currently have open. And then all you have to do is quickly switch with what program you want. Now, with the programs running, you also have, and everyone should be familiar with, Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer has been with Windows since its creation back in the early 90s. And it's been with Windows ever since, but everybody knows how much Internet Explorer has a lot of problems. Well, I'm going to show you, or introduce you to the new browser that's going to replace Internet Explorer. They're going to retire it. Now, keep in mind, Internet Explorer, even though it's going to be retired, is still in the operating system. It's in a diminished capacity. And it's for specifically compatibility issues that you may run into. The new program is called Microsoft's Edge. This is the new browser that is replacing Internet Explorer. And this is to better compete with Google Chrome and Mozilla Firefox. As you can see here, it looks a little different. Of course, you still have your back and forward buttons. You also have your refresh. Up here in the top, you may have some difficulties seeing the address bar, but it's up here at the top. You may have to make changes to the theme, which I will go into later in details in upcoming videos as time allows. Now, with this, the icons have changed a little bit. Over here you have the reading list. You have your favorites. Here you have your favorites, your reading list, your history. This shows you everything that you have. Your favorites, one of the things that Microsoft Edge allows is if you're reading an article, like on a website, and you're reading the contents, the articles, you can also use the reader or the Microsoft Reader to convert that web page into plain text. It removes all the formatting from the web page to make it easier to read. And I will go into details over that later on. These are all your reading lists. These are your history. These are all the programs that you downloaded. Here you have allows you to make notes about a web page that you can send off to your friends. You also have your share. So if you want to share it with people, then you can share through Twitter, OneNote, even mail. Here you have your settings. This is a lot different to what you may be used to in Internet Explorer, but it's basically the same. You can find stuff on the page, you can print, you can pin the page to your start, which is your start button down here in the lower right. You can send feedback. Now this right here is where Internet Explorer comes in. If you're looking at a page and you don't think it's not displaying correctly, which you may come across some of those, what you'll see is you can click open Internet Explorer, and then it brings up Internet Explorer. This is the one that you're familiar with. Now there's no direct link to Internet Explorer, but don't worry, later on in other videos I will show you how to get direct access to Internet Explorer. And then of course you have all your standard functions. Now some other things that they've done, the start menu, this here is a lot different. This allows you to get quick access. Windows 10 was designed to where you can run both apps and you can run desktop programs at the same time. For those of you who are Windows 8.1, you know that you've had difficulties switching between the start screen and the desktop screen. And plus the two apps never work together. Now keep in mind, on this side here, the most used will be displayed, just like you did in the Windows 7. Recently added will be showing up here. This shows you the new programs that you've installed. Down here you have File Explorer, which is the same thing as in Windows 7 and Windows 8, to where you can look for your files, directories, pictures, whatever the case may be. Then you have your settings, which is this one right here. This one here you can do displays, anything to do with the system, your default apps. You can connect your devices, printers, mouse, touchpad, network and internet. This is where you can set up your networking, connect to Wi-Fi. Personalize, this is where you can do your background, themes, lock screen, and starts. Accounts. Now when you get an account, if you're upgrading from Windows 7, you will need to create a Microsoft account to use a lot of the functions that Windows 10 provides. Especially like if you're going to use Cortana, if you're going to use the Windows Store, which I'll show you that here in a moment. You will need to create a Microsoft account. Now if you have an Outlook account, a Hotmail account, MSN account, those are Windows or Microsoft accounts that you can link to the operating system. Now if you're in Windows 8, chances are you already have one, and all you have to do is just sign back in, and then you can control your account information. You have your sign-in options where you can add passwords, PIN. You also have your time and language. Ease of access for those who have disabilities. Privacy, this is what tells your computer what apps can share and what they cannot share. You also have the update security. This is where you'll find the Windows Update. You'll find Windows Defender, which is the built-in protector or security software. You can turn it off if you want to. If you're going to use your own personal internet security software, you can turn this off and switch between them. You also have your backup. If you want to add your files and stuff, you can set it up to use a drive. Recovery, you can reset your PC. This again, as I showed earlier, this is where you go back to the previous Windows 7 or the previous operating system. And again, you do have 30 days to decide. Here you have the advanced startup. Now this comes in handy if you need to do any kind of troubleshooting or get the computer to go into safe mode. Activation, this is where you may run into a problem and you may not. It just depends on the operating system you're upgrading from. Because with Windows 10 there has been some minor issues with the upgrades. Nothing major, it's just every now and then someone has a computer that when they upgraded to Windows 10 that it's asking you to reactivate or enter the new product key. It's been a known issue, but it's nothing major. It's not happening to everybody. I had no problem installing the Windows 10 on this computer, and it was a Windows 7. So it just depends on the configuration of the computer. This is why you can't stress enough to check to make sure that your computer will support Windows 10. Then here, of course, this is for the developers. You don't have to worry about all that. And this is where the new settings are going to be found. Now, if you need to, you can go in the control panel. Even though you don't see it here, you can still go on the control panel. If you right-click the Start button, you'll see this menu here. Now, those of you who had Windows 8.1 will be familiar with this menu. Then you can go into the control panel, and then you have the original control panel that you can tinker with, that you're more familiar with. Now the other thing that you noticed on the Start menu, down here you have your power button to where you can choose if you want to sleep, shut down, or restart. All apps, this shows you all the apps that are installed. They're listed in alphanumerical order. And these are all the apps that are installed on the computer. On the right, you have your tiles. These are live tiles. When you open them, you can work with the calendar, sync it up to your work, you can sync it up to your school. You'll notice that the apps now are windowed, whereas in 8.1, it was full screen. And you couldn't minimize, all you could do is minimize it. You couldn't adjust the windows or anything. But now you can. If you want to shrink it, whatever the case may be, you can always adjust your apps. You also have your standard menus. You have your minimal, your maximize, and your X to close. You can also run more than one program at a time. Now, if you're moving from Windows 7, you will lose a lot of the programs that you once had that was part of Windows line. For instance, Windows 7 had the codecs and everything to play videos, even DVDs. But if you're going to upgrade to Windows 10, you will lose that capability. You will have to use a third-party video player, such as in some cases when you buy a computer, you'll have Cyberlink, Power DVD, which is a common one. Any kind of video player that you have. I do show one that's WonderFox, which has the DVD player built into their software that you can use, especially if you want to convert your DVDs. This one here will not be able to play videos from DVDs without some kind of a third-party player, because Windows 10 no longer comes with it. Media Center, that's another one, it's gone. There's a lot of changes that you can find on my website that shows you all the changes that's been made since Windows 7. A lot of it was taken out in the Windows 8 release. There were more things that were taken out in the Windows 10 release, so just check out my website. It'll give you the entire list before you upgrade. Now here you have your File Explorer. Of course, you can find your downloads, documents, desktops. You also have the Windows Store. This is the new Windows Store. You can get apps, programs. Some of them are free, some of them you pay for. Of course, you got Google Chrome, which I installed, and then you got the media player. And this is one of the newest things about Windows 10. It functions a lot faster. It is easier to use, and it's introduced new technology with biometrics. Biometrics started coming out in Windows 7. It's been gaining a lot of popularity with laptops. With Windows 8, you had the ability to use facial recognition, fingerprint, or retinal scan to log into your computer. Windows 10 is going to be a step further. They've been introducing new technology that allows you to use your fingerprint or your facial recognition retinal scan to sign into websites. It's still being tested as far as I know, but as soon as I get more details about the technology, I'll pass it on. So before you do the upgrade to Windows 10, be sure that you do double check to make sure all your programs and hardware is going to work with it. Now, under your Start button, you have your live tiles. You got Mail. You can even change them if you want to unpin it, if you want to resize it, if you want to turn it on and off, or if you want to pin it to the taskbar. The taskbar would be this bar down here at the bottom. If you wanted to, Windows 10 is automatic. If you're on a tablet version, then you'll still see the start screen. If you're in a laptop with touchscreen, the operating system has the ability to switch or determine what input you're going to use, and it's going to ask you if it detects something. Like if you're on a touchscreen computer and you plug a keyboard in, it's going to ask you if you're going to prefer using the touch or the keyboard. Then that way it can optimize the icons and the interface between you and the operating system. So it's going to, don't be surprised if a message comes up when you plug a device in to ask you if you prefer touch or using the keyboard. That you'll probably mostly see in laptops, especially those that have touchscreen capabilities. But as you can see, this is the new operating system. It looks more sleek. Now, as to whether or not it's going to stand up as to what everyone hopes it does, if they do follow their suit, Windows XP was great. Vista didn't do too well. 7 did great. We all know Windows 8 bombed. Now we have Windows 10. So it seems like Windows 10 is going to be a lot better than the previous version of Windows. Now, if you have any questions about Windows 10, feel free to ask. We are still just getting used to the Windows 10. So I will be providing more videos to show you how to make different changes, how to optimize Windows 10, and how to make all the changes and how to find things within Windows 10. And those videos will be coming up as time allows. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll be glad to answer them any way I can. Well, I'm your host, Mr. Fix-It. This has been a presentation by ES Repair. If you have any questions, let me know. And hopefully you'll like Windows 10 much better than we did with Windows 8. Now keep in mind, if you are going to upgrade, take your time. Back up the computer before you do the upgrade. Then that way, if you have any problems, you won't lose anything important. Well, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more videos by ES Repair.